The pictures you've just seen were shot with this new Nikon D5200 that I just got yesterday at the Best Buy in Watertown, New York. If you follow my account on Twitter, you probably already know that I exchanged the camera. The colors were dull at the Canon, you know, like the picture quality was okay, but like the colors were not rich, you know. I tried even like vivid settings, and you really need to use that like in manual mode all the time, you know. And I don't have time for that. I have a tractor drive. So I did more research online. I read you know, lots of reviews, and I often use the snet.com, cnet.com for reviews, and according to them, the best entry-level DSLR is this one, Nikon D5200. This is the older model. At the end of this month, I'm doing this beginning of November 2013, and end of November they're gonna have the new model. You see, this is 5200. They're gonna have 5300, but that one is I think about $100 more. And I looked at the specs, and this is still like editor's choice on cnet.com, so I like this one. And so I just spent like about an hour with it, you know, walking around the truck stop. I'm at what is it? Easy something truck stop in Watertown. I keep forgetting their name. And I walked around, did some of those landscape shots and stuff like that. And I really like how the camera feels. It's smaller and lighter than the Canon Rebel T5i, and it's easier to pronounce too. So it's D5200, you know. You don't have to think about stress, syllables, and emphasis and stuff like that. I don't know why I was saying Rebel in my previous reviews, you know, something. I know it's a Rebel, right? But it's just kind of a weird name. Kind of reminds me of my old Chevy Cobalt, you know. I think it's a Cobalt or a Rebel. I don't think it's a good name for a car and a camera. So anyway, so this would be great. Like either, you know, if you were a female or male photographer, it doesn't matter. It would be easy, real easy for everybody. Like in my hands are not exactly small, and still it was pretty comfortable because here you have a grip, you know, and over here you have a spot for your thumb. So when you carry this camera, you hold it like this, you know, it's like real steady. And then of course when you shoot, you use your left hand, you know, to cradle this. And it's real nice. Oh, and the best part is that Best Buy now has a promotion where you get the camera, the bag, and the zoom lens. This 700, I mean, it's 55 to 300 mil lens, and a bag and a 16 gigabyte memory card. You get it for $1,100. And I jumped at this opportunity because these are both autofocus lenses, you know, so I don't have to look for anything else. These two lenses is all I need. And actually, I didn't use this one yet. All the pictures that you've just seen were shot with a 18 to 55 millimeter lens, like the main lens that came up with this. This is the bag. It's a very small bag, so I gave him back the one I got with Canon, but it's still, you put the camera, you can keep the lens attached to the camera and just put it like this, and there's still enough room for another lens and the charger and my little tripod and the wire. You see there's a whole bunch of little pockets here for your memory cards, you know, for your lens caps. But the first impressions about the camera is that I know it's very easy to use. It came, of course, with the manual, and the manual is, I like this manual much better than the one that came with both Canon 70D and Rebel, because it's a bigger format. You know, there's more white space. You know, you don't have to wear 5 pairs of glasses to read this. You know, so real plain and simple. Everything is easy to understand. And I just tried I tried the full auto mode. I tried landscape. Just to make everything sharp, you know, from the foreground to the background. And I even tried, I even looked at the different scenes. And actually that's one thing I like about this one, is that it has lots of creative scenes that Rebel did not have. For example, I can give you an example of two of them. One was kind of like cartoon picture, you know, where you take a picture of a person. I know there's an effect in the computer, I saw it like that, and then it turns out as if it's a color cartoon, you know, like gives you outline, colors, you know. Fun. I'm gonna do that and maybe, you know, make a picture of myself, and it look like as if it's an animated picture, you know, just as if I'm drawn, and you can do that right in the camera. And the second thing, it has a special scene mode for autumn, you know, for fall. If you're taking a picture of you know, red and yellow leaves on trees, that particular scene was specifically designed to show the beauty of that color combination. And actually, that's what I wanted to do a couple of times with the Rebel when I was looking at all those trees in Virginia and South Carolina, North Carolina. So there's much more modes here for a creative person. So this is a really great camera, you know, to fall back in love or to fall in love for the first time with photography, you know, and just practice all these various modes. Now all this sensitivity thing, ISO, I'm not a big expert on that yet, but I read reviews that even though Rebel has a high ISO number, like maximum number, when the reviewers compared night shots with this one and Rebel, this picture, they took a picture of a car like outside on the street, like total darkness. I think there was like a you know, light post was there. Like there was some light, but very limited light. The picture taken by Nikon was much better quality and less grain than the picture taken by a Rebel, even though Rebel has a high ISO setting, you know. So the same shutter speed, like I think it's 1/4000th of a second on both of them, so pretty much better ISO. I think this one does like four shots per second, as Rebel does 5, but you know, who cares. Also, one big difference, I looked at the movie settings, and this little baby here, well, first of all, megapixels, of course. This one, you can, if you choose a large size of a picture, you can do 24,000 megapixels, you know, which is much more than Rebel or even the Canon 70D. But the biggest difference for me that I really liked was that this thing can shoot 1080p video at 60 frames per second, you know. That's like unbelievable, you know, like most entry-level cameras only give you, let's say, 1080 at 30 frames per second, because 1080p at 60 frames per second, that's really good, you know. So I'm looking forward to trying do a video with this, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be impressive. So all in all, yeah, so far, like, this is the last thing. So I just basically left Canon camp and I switched to Nikon. And by the way, one of the reasons why I got kind of angry with Canon is this book. If you remember, I showed you the guys that I was reading this book, Digital Photography by Scott Kelby. It's been translated into a whole bunch of languages. And in the end, the last chapter here, he shows his own equipment, and this guy does everything, like sports photography, you know, shots for magazines, you know, newspapers, weddings, and I was really curious to see what this guy is using. And there's a chapter here called A Quick Peek at My Gear, and I was real surprised to see that all his cameras, like he has a couple, right, like one main one and then a spare one, all his lenses are Nikon, you know. That kind of, you know, started me wondering, like, I thought Canon was like the best, you know, and then this guy here is using Nikon. He's like, you know, a real professional, gets paid for his work, you know, and that's what kind of ignited my interest to the line of Nikon cameras. And then I started reading online all these reviews. There was even a whole bunch of reviews specifically comparing these two models, you know, the Canon Rebel T5i that I had versus, and that's a newer model, because it just came out like a couple of months ago, versus the Nikon D5200, and all the reviews said take D5200. In one review, actually, they crazy guys, they said that they're gonna review these two cameras and destroy the one they didn't like. They ended up putting the Canon Rebel under the track of an excavator and crashing it, and then filming it in slow motion. Crazy, but that kind of, like, you know, That's what I found online, you know, and that's why now I'm a Nikon fan. Thanks for watching.